Howdy guys, welcome back to another inclusive video with Lani.All.Inclusive. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I love you with all of my heart. And if you are new, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a video. Join the inclusive vibes. I dare you. Leave me a comment down below as well, letting me know something about yourself, because I'm wanting to get to know you guys as much as you're wanting to get to know me. Just kidding, nobody's wanting to get to know me. But I'm gonna make you get to know me anyways. In this episode, I want to talk about two things that are very personal to me. Home renovations, because I just bought a house, and living with DID. Come on guys, let's get into this episode. I'm super excited and let's go. I'm a threat now. Yeah. I bet you didn't know. I'm a threat. And now you know. Yeah. You fucking with one of the greatest. I'm a threat. I'm a threat. So guys, yes, I am renovating my house. I'm so excited. The journey is finally starting. We decided to start. It kind of got a little bit chillier, a little bit colder outside, sweater weather vibes. So yeah, I'm gonna be like just kind of exploring my thoughts and my ideas for the house and how I see it transforming and going. This is a fixer-upper. This is going to be a flipper. Me and my family are investing a lot in this house. All of our own money is going towards this house. So I'm super excited for the journey and like the process. Like I've always wanted to renovate my own home. And I've always wanted to flip and like get into real estate and all that. So super excited. It's going to be a journey, but I'm really excited to learn and, you know, see like behind the scenes and see how everything is going to go. Because I know it's going to be tough and challenging, but it's going to be well worth it at the end. To take you back a little bit, I did buy the house 2 months ago, and I live on a block where like literally my brother just moved in, and it's like my mom and me and like our friends like live. So it's like basically our block. We kind of like have made that like a joke, but it's very peaceful and I like it. I like being like, you know, close to my family and like that kind of vibes. It's giving a cul-de-sac, so I like it like that. I like just, you know, having the whole family like super close to each other. I'm a very family person, so I like that a lot. It's really good for my mental health. Yeah, my stepdad, he is a carpenter. He has worked on like really big, nice staircases and like mansions and like, you know, doing floors and all of that. So we just started, and I have like some videos that I'm going to be inserting. We just started like the floors. So he just basically just started like scraping up all the tile, and we're actually starting in the bathroom because so in this house, the person before, they were going to turn the garage area. It's like a very big, like spacious garage. And they were going to turn that into like a master bedroom. And so we kind of took that idea, was like, that'll be great, especially for like when selling the house. So I'm going to have like a huge master bedroom, right? And we're going to create like this huge like walk-in closet vibes, like so cute. And like in the bathroom area, it's super nice because the person that lived here, like not the people that were here before, but like the people before them, they kind of like added on to it and like tried to make it cute, but like it wasn't done properly. Like my stepdad just got done like tearing out the tile and shit, and like it wasn't done properly anyways. But it is like super like aesthetic in there because it has like this very beige color, and like I'm gonna go with beige. I love the aesthetic of just like neutrals. Like that's just me. Like maybe people are done with it, but like you'll never come in my house seeing like browns and fucking pops of red and fucking like absolutely not. Pops of orange, absolutely not. Like I don't know if it's the Virgo in me or what, but I can't. I'm good. But that's for coming later. So let's see. So yeah, we're starting in the bathroom, and basically I'm super excited for this bathroom because
like I said, they started doing things previously, and like it has this like really small shower. I don't know. I think that I did record it, but if I didn't, I will record that and show you like what it looks like. But it has this small shower, and then, you know, it had like, I think in the back it was like the laundry room, but we're going to move the laundry room like in the kind of in the dining area. Like we're going to create like a little space for the laundry room. We'll get into that later, but this is going to be the bathroom now. So we are going to literally create like where I'll have a huge like standing like tub, and then like I forget what this is called, but I'm going to like show you what it kind of looks like and like what it's called, because I can't remember like the proper terms that my stepdad was using. But it's basically going to be like a whole big shower, like the tub, and then you'll have like the shower head like kind of beside it. I don't know. I'm super excited. It's going to look so aesthetic. And I actually went to Lowe's, so I'm going to like show you like the floor that I picked out for the bathroom. It is going to be slick, but it's going to be so aesthetic. It's like pure white and it's shiny, and it's going to look so good. I also, so you guys know that I wanted to go with the color beige. I really want to go with the color beige, and that's going to be throughout the whole house. I did find these floors that I like as well. It's obviously like mimicking wood, because I don't think it's going to be like real wood. I don't know. I'm not good with this stuff. I have a lot of help, but yeah, I can show you. But I just like went to Lowe's and just kind of like took a video of like everything that I would want or that I liked, and then I'll either order it or go back and get it. But I'll be going back to get the floors soon. Because obviously I think when doing a house, you have to do the floors first and then you paint last. So such a journey, such a process. But like right now I'm in the living room, and like there's this like wall right here like separating the kitchen. And I'm kind of just going over this kind of fast because I don't really have, I'm just kind of telling you like what's going on and like how I want it to look like, basically, or like the vision, right? This is like the vision board right now. But this wall is like separating the dining room and the kitchen, and we're going to take this wall out, so it's like just going to be like an open space. So it's going to make it more spacious in here. And then in the kitchen, we are going to completely like just demolish how it's looking, and then we're going to create like a little island. So like right in front of me, I'll be able to see like the island like in the middle. And I'm so excited to like pick, you know, like marble or like granite. I don't even know all of these things, but I just go off of like what looks aesthetic. Like what do I feel intuitively? And I normally get like nice high quality stuff, so I know this is going to be so expensive on me, but a very good investment, If you guys can like imagine the house, it's basically just going to be like beige walls with, is it white trim? I don't even know. I think, yeah. And then, you know, the floors, I don't know what color I'm going to do. I did find some. It was kind of like a cream white with like this. I'm going to put it in right here, but I really like these floors. They're really cute, and I feel like that would look really good with the beige, and it'll keep it light and like balanced. I feel like I'm not making sense, but you guys are seeing the video, so hopefully you guys can see the vision of like how I want the house to be. And then so the master bedroom, and then so we'll have four bedrooms, and then we'll have 2 baths and two toilets. So yeah, I'm super excited. And they were in there talking about like the vanity and like how it's going to be set up. I can show you guys that. I'll probably have to record that, but I don't mind doing that for you guys. I'm super excited to bring you guys along with me on this journey. Like I also found these like beautiful lights and like chandeliers. Like I'm going to put them in. They are gorgeous. Like I really want to can you put like a chandelier like in the bathroom? Cause I want to do that. Like I'm trying to do that. Like, I really want to put one in there, but I don't know if you can or if it's good with like the heat and the smoke. I don't know. But there's a couple of chandeliers that I see, and I swear to God, I'm going to get them all. I'm going to get one for the bathroom, one for in the living room, one for in here, one for my room. I am not even playing. I'm excited about those. And I feel like that is like that part of me. And happy birthday, Nan. I love you so much. It was her birthday today, and we got her some gifts and stuff. Love you. But I think that this is kind of like I have her a part of me. Like, she loves like vintage old things. Like, you guys should see her house. You guys actually will see her house because, well, you'll see like little bits and pieces. I'm going to be filming my music video there. Super excited about that. Y'all get ready, okay? But yeah, I'm trying to think like anything else. I did pick the color that I want to get. Let me go see if I have it really quick. I obviously vlogged it, but I want to show you the color of beige that I picked. Hold on. And no, I don't know why I'm wearing this cowgirl hat. My mom got this for me recently, and I just think that it is so cute. So I just think, I don't know, I'm in my country girl era. Like, I'm not even playing. I don't think that this is just like a phase either. This is like Shawty's in her country girl era. Oh, this is the color that I have chosen. It is Pure Earth PPU 7-05M B3/3. I don't know, but I don't know if you guys can see, but it's so beautiful. Even like in here, like with the furniture, and like just imagine that on the fucking wall. I'm obsessed. So yeah, I kind of just like looked at, kind of like window shopped, and I've just been working my ass off and saving, and yeah, I'm gonna get everything, and I'm super excited to bring you guys along with me on this journey. There's just gonna be a lot of repairs. Oh yeah, I have this beautiful like deck on the back, but the previous owners didn't really like take care of it, so it was like rotting like underneath and shit. So I took this screenshot. I like found one that like I'm obviously inspired by, and my stepdad's gonna like, you know, kind of make that desire come to life in his own way, and so we're gonna scrap that out and just completely like restart. Also, like in the kitchen, like I'm getting all new everything. Like I'm gonna be getting like new washer and dryers. I'm gonna be getting new like stove and a new stove and all of that, because I did go, and I really like the LG ones. Like, I don't know, somebody was saying something like, actually my mom just got a new stove, and it actually looks really aesthetic. It looks really nice. So I don't know, I might want to get that one. Yeah, might have to do that. Side note, I got crumble cookies, and I kind of wanted to like try some on camera, but like I'm not even hungry right now. And the cornbread one, like I already ate it, and it was so fucking good, and I'm already knowing that that one's gonna be the best one. Like, I never understood the hype. Like when crumble cookie first come out, which I don't know, like 5 years ago or some shit, I was like moved off living somewhere else, like in this big city, and I got them and I liked it then, but then I was like, this is not like the best ever, you know. And now like they're just, it's such like a hype, and like I went and got some today, and I'm like, look, I'm like everyone else, but like they're not giving. They just look like regular fucking cookies. But I mean, I don't know. The cornbread one didn't taste really good though, so I might do like a little taste test and like try them for like a little ad break right here, just because, not an actual ad break. I'm not sponsored by Crumble, but like, yeah, I need minutes on this podcast, and I want to kind of take a break before I start talking about something more serious. So let's kind of have fun. I also got Krispy Kreme, so let's do this. Hold on. They're sitting right here beside me, and I'm not even sponsored, but I'll show you guys. Oh my fucking God. I told you I already ate them. Like, I kind of want to try this blueberry one. Let's see. I swear to God, this is so hard for me to eat because I'm not hungry. It tastes good though. But it's not like a wow. I can't try all of them right now because I would die. I want the Krispy Kreme though. These are like for my son. But I had to get these. These are so cute. Okay, so I'm going to try this one. Hopefully it's not blurry. So, obviously I want to get into a more like personal, sensitive topic. And I'm kind of nervous because obviously I don't want anyone to like self-diagnose themselves, you know, after watching this or after listening to me. There's been a lot of signs to me and like a lot of traits. And like, you know, I'll see like movies about it, or I'll see like, you know, certain like, it's mostly like art. Like I'll see like movies about like these topics and it'll resonate with me and like fascinate me. But like I've never been diagnosed. We plan on going to the doctor, and I just guarantee that I am going to be diagnosed with this. So I was talking with a very close like family member. This person's really close with my family and myself, and they see me grow up and things of that nature. So like this person, we had a conversation like literally 4 days ago. Hold on, my mom's calling. I was talking with somebody close with my family, and you know, they were telling me that they seen because like something traumatic had happened to me, and I was like basically talking to this person, crying to them on the phone, and you know, or it's just way more intense and like dramatic for me, even though like, you know, it wasn't like a life or death situation, but like we'll get into that. Things are just like, we experience like things like in a more intense way, and it's like very intensified. And so I was just venting to him about this, and then he was like, you're kind of just like me. Like I've been noticing these traits of, and you know, he was breaking it down and explaining it to me, and I was just like, wow, you know, like a lot of epiphanies and like shocker epiphanies for me. And I really like resonated, and like, I don't know, it just kind of opened up these whole can of worms. Like, and then I started like researching it that night, and then like I watched this whole like series about it, and I watched it all the way through. It was very interesting and really intrigued me. It's very obvious, like a lot of the traits that you'll see is like, you know, it's disassociative identity. So it's like you not truly knowing like who you are. So you kind of create like these identities, or you know, like kind of stemming like from that one personality that was kind of, I don't know, shattered into like all these different pieces. And a lot of this times it does happen from childhood. You know, abuse, emotional abuse, any forms of abuse, and like bullying. You guys know that I went through a lot of that, and obviously sexual abuse. And obviously I have opened up about how I was SA'd, and I do want to go into depth in that. And I thought it was going to be this episode, but it's just not time yet. But it will come soon, and I know that my story and my, you know, my situation is going to help a lot of people out there. But I also feel like this one's going to help a lot of people out there. It's hard for me like to explain, because this is something that I've been kind of knowing about myself, but avoiding, but also not truly knowing. So that's why I feel kind of more empowered. Like I was talking with him about this, because me talking with you guys about this and with him, like it's fresh and new to me still. And obviously anybody who has been diagnosed and, you know, living with it, like please leave me comments down below. Like I would love to chat and talk about this topic and get to know you guys as far as your stories and how you guys have went about things and just how your experience has been with it. But you know, you create like these alters or these different identities, and it's crazy because like my original name is Jayla, but I always felt like Jayla was so bullied and so abused and traumatized growing up as a kid, especially like with my father. Not sexually, but there was a lot of like abuse there, physically and mentally and emotionally, with my father, and some just overall with families and just growing up with you know my with other disabilities that I have that I will talk about in the future. And yeah, this is all very like this is all very this is all very therapeutic for me, and it's very healing for me, just for me to get this out and talk about it, because I feel like people think that I'm like always walking with a stick up my ass, and then I think I'm just so perfect, when all reality it's like, no, you don't even know the half of it. So I know a lot of my family and friends watching are really getting to know me for me. But so like Jayla, I just associated her with being bullied and like dumb, like not intelligent. And so I created Lani, and like I'm Lani, and like Lani will never leave. And like I even want to change my first name to Lani. Like I like Lani. I like this character, or this person that Lani has become. And I don't even know if that makes sense, but like, because you also grow, and it could be like in a metaphoric term, but it's really not. It's like I created this other identity. But like my middle name is Leilani Lee, but I created Lani. So like that's like the first sign. And I have created like other alter egos and stuff, and I do like, it's not really like talking to myself, but I do. And misunderstood like diagnosis, and I don't know if it's because like I don't know if people don't believe it, or they don't think that the person's really ill, or that it is like a mental illness, but it is. And yeah, it all stems from trauma or something traumatic that happened in your life, and you kind of create this identity to survive. It's kind of giving like the Joker as well, but it's kind of like you went through so much pain and like trauma that you kind of create this new identity. And it's like I do that, like when I go through a breakup or whatever, I throw on a wig, like, and I'm that person, and that person makes me feel better, and it helps me like survive, you know. Also with like I learned, but this is something that I would feel and that I would do. So just seeing it, I'm like, okay, so this makes sense. It's so like freeing almost, in a sense, for me. It's like something I forget. I'm gonna look this up because I can't butcher this. Like I don't truly know. Like I'm learning this. If you guys have felt like you have dealt with this, maybe you guys are learning with it with me right now. Like you guys have been getting the signs and the synchronicities that, hey, maybe this is what's going on with you. And it's good to go to the doctor though, and get diagnosed. Lonnie's not trying to self-diagnose out here, but this is just my personal experience. I know that I have this. And I'm going to talk about I'm going to give you guys like just like that first example as far as Jayla and then Lani, and then I'm going to give you guys the examples, and also like because these are like I'm referencing from this video because it made sense to me, and like I don't know, I don't want to be all over the place, but I'm learning as well as I'm teaching you. Like I'm learning right now, so please just bear with me, guys. But yeah, learning this, like, just because I know, and I spend a lot of time alone, I have a strong relationship with God. And just me knowing this gives me so much comfort. And we will talk about it. Hold on. Okay. This doctor, he's a therapist. It's Hello Jammer, GG, I don't know. Also high correlations with eating disorders, impulsiveness, eating disorders, self-harm.
Self-injurious behavior and suicidal ideation are not always the same thing. Suicidal ideation is when I want to kill myself and end my life, which, by the way, people at BPD are very high risk of. So that's a very real risk. But the self-injurious behavior doesn't necessarily correlate with that. When I work with patients who have BPD, when I ask them, why do you cut or why do you burn or why do you do self-injurious behavior, what I tend to find is that it's almost a meditative practice for them. I'm not advocating for doing that.
Right.
But if you ask them, okay, when do you cut? Well, I cut when I feel emotionally really, when the pain gets so intense on the inside and I'm so unloved. If I start cutting, that pain, the pain of the physical sensation of the cut actually knocks the emotional pain and the fear of loneliness and abandonment out of my mind.
So I'm going to talk about as far as relationships, and I don't know if this is contradicting my last one as far as, like dating in my 20s, but this is like an epiphany that I just kind of had, and it makes a lot of sense why a lot of relationships, friendships don't work out. And it's because of this, like, they get their validation from people around them. It's like they don't know themselves. So it's like, I don't know myself. It's like I'm making friends with people and I'm wearing a mask, and I'm not saying like I'm wearing a mask because I don't want to sound like I'm being a hypocrite from like my last video, but it's like you want to be liked by a person, and the person that you are, you felt like wasn't good enough because maybe you didn't get any praise or you were looked over, or maybe this person didn't like you when you were just being yourself. So you create this other version that people would like, and it's like the people like that version, but they don't truly like you for like who you are. And that's so heartbreaking and like so sad as far as, that's what I'm advocating is like for people to be their self. And that's what breaks my heart. It's like, maybe it's hard to do that especially when a person like me or you, if anybody's going through this, is living with this, when you don't really truly accept yourself, or when you truly don't know yourself, or, associated with who you were. It's kind of, I don't know. It's very weird. It's like, I'm just learning this now. So if you're just learning this, then we're just both learning this together. But it just makes a lot of sense why a lot of relationships did not work. Like, I guess you become very codependent on always needing that validation. And like, here, I'm going to play it because he says it perfectly. I was like, yes. And it makes a lot of sense. And like, I always knew that there was something wrong with me. I just didn't know what it was. And that's why I would isolate and not want to be in a relationship, because it's too much. Like, when a person's dealing with this, to a regular person, when you, let's say, go through like a breakup, right? That person might get over that breakup in a month, 2 months. A person, they are going to be so heartbroken. They might be heartbroken for like a year. Like, it might be a couple months. Like, it's so intense, and it's more painful, and it's hard to deal with. That's why you see a lot of suicidal, or see a lot of self-harm. And sometimes, like he said, the self-harm isn't to commit suicide. The self-harm isn't, to commit. It's more to just, stop the really intense feelings and the pain, to just like kind of in that like abandonment, to like go away, because like when it becomes too much, you do kind of want to self-exit. Like, it's hard for the human mind or to like deal with all of those emotions when being so like heavily intensified. And I feel like he talks about how you become codependent, and it's like you feel like you're being, I'm going to let him explain it, and then I'll have an easier way of explaining.
Afraid of abandonment, feeling empty on the inside, feeling a lot of emotional intensity in order to cope with that.
So emotional, like intensity.
Behaviors. And this is really where the disorder part really comes in, because the more that we see these kinds of behaviors, the more outcomes get worse for people with BPD. So the first thing that they tend to do is engage in impulsive behaviors.
Yeah.
Right? So this goes back to the, like, I'm going to fall deeply, deeply in love with this person because I'm going to feel such an emotional high hanging out with them. This is the best person. Even though my last 10 relationships have been train wrecked, this person feels different. This person truly loves me. This is real love. This is what everyone's talking about in the movies. So I'm going to move on in with them. So we see a lot of impulsive behavior.
Very impulsive.
Actually experience the highest amount of pain. So if we look at people who cut in BPD, what they tend to do is very superficial cuts. They don't do deep cuts. They're not trying to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
But if you look at the superficial part of the skin, that's when we actually have very, very sensitive nerves. So we have these nerves that will do light touch. So you can just do a very light touch and you can feel it, right? Even if you think about tickling, right? It's a very light touch, evokes a lot of response. So a lot of pain, actually, if you sort of focus on just on the very surface, the intensity of the pain is actually higher. So we'll engage in self-injurious behaviors. We'll also see substance use disorders as being very comorbid with BPD. And what's that about? It's, once again, I'm feeling so much pain on the inside, I want to forget it, right? And if I get high, if I get drunk, if I use some kind of drugs, then it's going to make all that pain go away. And the last kind of behavior that we'll sort of see from people who have BPD is what from the outside looks like manipulative behavior. And we'll kind of get into that in a second. But essentially what happens is that there are different ways I can deal with feeling empty or bad on the inside. And one of the ways I can feel better is to feel loved by someone else, right? So if I'm feeling very abandoned and I do something that evokes love and caring from
He's saying it so much better than I could.
Better about myself. So these are some common behaviors which oftentimes create all kinds of problems in the lives of people who struggle with BPD. Now, what I'd love to do here is actually pause for a second and just share with y'all my understanding. So I have a fear of abandonment. And what that sort of means is that if you have BPD, what people with BPD are oftentimes afraid of is screwing up relationships.
For sure.
They're really, really afraid that, like, if I say the wrong thing or if I do the wrong thing, that I'll drive this person.
I always had a fear of, like, especially, like, girlfriends, like, friendships. Like, I've always wanted friends and shit, never could keep them, you know, and I think this could be why. But it's like, I would always have a fear of abandonment, that they would leave me or, like, find a better friend or, like, you know, like, we'll just never be friends forever. Then, in turn, like, that shit manifests. And so, even with, like, relationships, like, in any sort of, like, relationships, even family, like, I'm always waiting for the rug to be pulled from out, like, up under my feet. I'm always waiting for that person, like, I'm sorry, like, are you going to leave me? Like, and you always need that constant validation from that significant other, whether it's like a friend or like a lover. And I think like that's why, like, I don't want to put anybody through that, you know? Like, this shit is tough. It's very tough because you put all of your validation in other people. And I have cared, like, I always cared about what people, this is very humbling for me, by the way. But I hope that this helps somebody out there. Like, what was I about to say? Yeah, like, I always cared about what people thought about me. Always. And I swear, if they didn't like me or like my hair or whatever, like, I swear I will create this image that people are going to like. And it's funny how, like, you know, like, people didn't like me in high school, and, like, now I'm an adult, but I am living, like, with the traumas of, like, people that bullied me and shit like that. It's like, I've created these, you know, I've created this aesthetic for myself, and, like, now all those people like me now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you don't really like me. You just like this version that I created. That'd be more aesthetic to your eyes, I guess, or something. I don't know, but I know that it's something like that. Like, like I said, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm just now learning too, but I'm going to.
They really do believe, like, people are going to leave them. People are waiting to leave them.
Yeah.
People are looking for any kind of excuse to leave them. And if you have those kinds of thoughts, like, oh my God, like, this person is looking for an excuse to break up with me. We've been dating for 6 years.
I swear.
Since the 3rd month, they've been looking for an excuse. They've been looking for an excuse. That's what your subjective experience is like if you have BPD.
A lot of abandonment issues. I have a lot of abandonment issues. And I even wrote a song about this that I will be dropping as well. But yeah, there's always this fear that somebody's going to leave me over something I said, how I looked, I didn't do something right. Like, I feel like this is good for this person to speak because it helps me know how, like, what I'm saying, because I don't want to, like, mess up. But I truly am going to go to the doctor because I know that this is what I have been going through. And it's obvious. All the signs are there, especially, like, people that are close to me are even telling me. And, like, if you are a subscriber, been here for a long time, you guys probably seen it as well. You know, like, it's insane.
And so oftentimes what it feels like is that relationships are incredibly stressful because you're walking this tightrope of, if you seem too clingy, they're going to break up with you. If you seem too standoffish,
it's a tightrope for sure.
they're going to break up with you. They're going to leave you. The other thing that's really interesting about the subjective experience of people with BPD, and this is something that I think we really lack compassion for, because some of the behaviors that people with BPD exhibit can be so frustrating, is that their internal emotional experience hurts so fucking much.
So fucking much. I've been saying DID, but I think this is borderline personality disorder. I think that that's what I have. People, like, we're so misunderstood. Like, people that have BPD, DID, like, I feel like we're so misunderstood as far as, like, we're not like the regular, we don't feel things like regular human brains. Like, it's way more intense. Like, that breakup, that shit hurt. Like, it hurts on a different fucking level. It's very intense. It's like to the point where you are suicidal or you have to do these things that is causing harm to you, but it's kind of therapeutic in a way because it makes that intensity kind of go away, like what we just talked about.
Borderline personality disorder, their experience of life can be incredibly painful. So I want y'all to kind of think about it this way, where, like, I can rip a Band-Aid off, and that's like, it hurts for a few seconds, like maybe it hurts for maybe 10 seconds, and it's like a 6 out of 10 pain. But if I've got BPD, the pain signals of life, especially emotional pain, are actually amplified. So things like breakups will actually, like, almost in an objective way, we're talking about subjective, but if you kind of rate the emotional pain
like
from a breakup, and if you take...
I'm going to pause that. I always wonder, like, why do I always feel so crushed and just like it's just a breakup. Like, I'm healthy, I'm fine. Like, it's not the end of the world. I don't have to be suicidal. I don't have to, do these things to myself. And it's like, this makes a lot of sense. We feel things way more, like, intensified than, like, the average or normal.
Two people, one person with BPD, one person without BPD, it'll hurt way more for the person with BPD. So it's almost like their nerves are on fire when it comes to emotional pain. So it can almost be really confusing.
Even getting mad, and he's going to say it.
That this life feels harder than what my other friends are kind of going through.
Exactly.
I've had 3 friends. They all, let's say, went through a romantic breakup, and they're able to bounce back after like 2 to 6 months. But 1 year later, I'm still feeling so hurt.
Literally.
For this kind of thing. And this sort of complicates relationships, because what ends up happening is that I don't get over it, right? So I'm hurting, and normally like 2 months after a relationship, people give me a lot of support, but then they get tired of it after 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah.
And so then what ends up happening is that, like, people stop supporting me emotionally because I kind of need more emotional support, because it actually hurts more than the average person.
Yes. And, like, getting out of this last relationship, I was just, like, on the phone, like, feeling this way. And if I would have known this a few months ago, it would have been maybe so much better for me and maybe the other person. But I just feel like this person is just evil, because all men are. But, I'm just like, I just need, like, that emotional security. Like, can you please just make me feel good emotionally? And they were just like, no, like, I can't be there for you emotionally. I've worked all day, and then basically hung up in my face. And, that hurts. That adds on to the pain even more. And so, like, yeah, like, that should be fucking hurting. Like, fuck you, by the way, if you're watching this.
Common experience in BPD is subjective feelings of emptiness. So this is where we kind of like, you kind of feel like empty on the inside. Like, you don't really know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you want from life.
Yeah.
A lot of times the goals that you set are just to get rid of the pain. It's not necessarily moving.
I swear to God, like, a lot of the goals, even this podcast, and I know that. I mean, but we have to be honest. I'm making this in good faith and good intention, and it's going great, and I'm so grateful that I have this outlet, and it's very therapeutic for me, and I'm helping myself, and I'm helping you guys, and we're helping each other. But yeah, like, I would always do that. Like, after I experienced something like a breakup or like a friendship breakup, I'm creating a new project. I'm making a new song, obviously. Like, I'm doing something to get rid of the pain, for sure.
Moving towards something, It's moving away from something. So what I really want is I want to get rid of this loneliness. And I'm even willing to get back together with my abusive partner.
That is true. It's almost like Stockholm Syndrome.
Untethered in life. And I feel kind of empty on the inside. I don't really know who I am. The last thing that oftentimes happens with people with BPD is that they'll sometimes dissociate or disconnect from life. And this is probably a neurologic coping mechanism where since they're...
I feel like I'm going to have to make more storage real quick, so hold on.
What they end up actually doing is like detaching or dissociating from that pain, and they kind of feel disconnected.
Yeah.
And if you kind of think about it, that relates to the feeling of emptiness, because the more that I disconnect from myself, the harder it is to discover who I am. So in terms of the subjective experience of BPD, the four kind of most common things that I've seen as a clinician, first is a fear of abandonment. Second is just really intense emotional suffering. Like as a clinician, I think my patients with BPD emotionally suffer more than the ones without BPD. And I know that's sort of a comparative statement, and I'm not saying that someone who has severe depression or schizophrenia and psychosis suffers more than someone who has BPD, but I mean on average, the normal experience of life, if you have BPD, is more painful than not having BPD. There are also a lot of feelings.
Yeah, so I feel like that is summing it up, and you know, I just feel like that could have been a lot of the cause of my relationships, you know, just needing that emotional support and emotional, you know, like validation. I hope that you guys can see, because if you can't, I'm going to be so sad. Yeah, so just having that like emotional support and that validation constantly, you know, that's what it's like dealing with somebody or being in a relationship, any sort or form, like a person that has BPD. Yeah, and this is very humbling for me to talk about right now, because these are things that are all true about myself. These are all traits that I genuinely and truly have, and I'm not trying to self-diagnose myself. I am going to go to the doctor, and I'll bring you guys along with me. I want to bring you guys along with me on every journey of like just getting to know myself and growing as a person. These are all things that I need to know so I can one day have healthy friendships and healthy relationships just moving forward with my life. And I hope that this video is kind of helping you guys as well. Anybody who is living with it, just know that you're not alone. Everybody is struggling with similar things in the world, you know. You're not alone, and that's just a good feeling to have, and it's good for me to have as well. It's crazy because, you know, it happens a lot of the times from childhood. So it's like there's a little kid in there, you know, that went somewhere and like kind of created this, and like as you're an adult and you're growing up, it's like you realize it's kind of crazy experience. But you know, I realize like I was kind of intuitively already doing this, as far as like I'll keep myself away from certain things that I know is going to hurt me and trigger me, because really what it is like a trigger, and then you'll kind of go back to that place, or you know, go to the next identity or the next one or whatever. It's like, and I always kind of thought, because I would always say, like, I feel like a kid still, like, mentally, but, like, I'm intelligent, like, I've grown, like, obviously, like, I'm 27, but I do feel like a kid still, and I always just feel weird about it. And I was talking with my family, and the one that was talking to me about this, and he was just like, yeah, because it, like, stems from, like, childhood. Because I've never talked about this. I've never really expressed truly, like, what's going on or what's wrong with me, and I truly you get answers as you grow, and so this is a new answer that I have gotten for myself. And yeah, I just have a lot of researching, and this is good for me. This is really good and therapeutic for me to know this about myself. And I already kind of knew, but I think I was like in denial, which is, I don't know, it's crazy. Because it's like, I think I'm like in an identity like right now talking, which is crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like, I got the cowgirl hat on, like, okay, I don't know what the fuck. But because am I like playing dress up, like, and I put like a different wig on, like, is that because I feel like a new identity, or I feel like a new character? I don't know. I hope that this video has helped and like resonated in some way for you guys, and I will go more in depth detail obviously when I go to the doctor and all that shit and get more information on this. But that has been a lot. Like, there's just so many traits. There's so many. It just resonates and it clicks and it makes sense for me. So I'm excited to see. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be excited, but I am. Like, you know, we should be excited about mental health, and we should be excited about just, we're all humans. This is all our first time. Like, it's okay. We all don't gotta be fucking perfect. Like, it's okay. Like, mental health, it's fine. Like, it's really normal. Everybody's struggling with something. So it's okay to be excited about healing your mental health. Cool parallel as far as, you know, I'm renovating my house, and, you know, people who have BPD or like DID or whatever that you guys have, you guys don't just have to have this, but it's good, you know, it's kind of cool how it kind of parallels and like coincides with like, this is going to be good for my mental health, I think, because I'm renovating my dream house, and, you know, I'll be able to dress up and play and all of that, you know, because I don't know if this is something that will go away, but what he did say at the end is like a therapy, like, I forget the correct term, but therapy is really kind of what heals this. So I probably do need to start going to a therapist. I know that therapy would be good for me. I don't think that I want to go to like the therapy that you have to like, your body physically goes into an office. I might do like over the phone or something like that, but that will be after I go to the doctor and just see if I truly have it. But I truly feel like I do, and I truly do like disassociate from reality and like people and like my family and, you know, about the situation. He was like, yeah, it's good for you to get up and get out, see your family, talk, go outside, you know, because I do. I stay in the house, and I film videos, and I like edit and I just stay like a hermit, and I just stay to myself, and it's so hard to explain, but I know that you guys have to understand where I'm coming from or what I'm trying to say. Man, I wish that, I feel like I should, you know, it should be one way, but it's coming out this way because this is just the most real and authentic, genuine way. But I hope that the video kind of helped, and then telling you guys how I see the traits in myself, it's just making sense somehow. I don't know, but I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful for you, and I am so excited to bring you guys along with me on my journey of recreating my house and just creating this safe place, this safe haven for me and my kids. Oh shit, hell no, kid. And yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm ready for it to just happen already. Like, can we just start the process up? But, you know, renovating a house, it takes time. It's a process, but I'm excited. It's all about the journey, not about the destination, baby. But I am gonna hawk to it out of here. Just kidding. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Leave me comments down below, because I really want you guys to start asking me questions for inclusive discussions with Lani. Okay, I want to know the tea. If you guys have been living with DID or BPD, let me know in the comments down below. Tell me your guys' experiences or your guys' stories. I would love to know so I don't feel alone. And we're definitely going to have more topics on that. We're definitely going to talk more about this topic, because this just really hits home for me. It resonates for me. I know in my heart of hearts that I really feel like I have this. And I will also talk about, after that doctor's visit, I'll talk about other things that Lani has going on up here in her little mental. But we're going to save that for another video, because this one's pretty long. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next episode. This was episode 8. I don't know if I said that in the beginning. Damn. But bye.
Talk shit behind my back, fake to my face. Discovering lies, you left a trace. But begging for me at the end of the day. I plead the fifth, ain't got shit to say. Talk shit behind my back, fake to my face.